Dr. Amelia Croft stared at the screen, her brow furrowed. Everywhere she looked, the data screamed the same unsettling truth. The climate wasn't just changing, it was changing far more rapidly than anyone had predicted, far more rapidly than the official reports acknowledged. Amelia, a renowned climatologist, had dedicated her life to understanding the Earth's intricate systems. Now, those systems were behaving in ways she couldn't explain, ways that defied the models she'd spent years refining. This wasn't just an academic curiosity, it was a terrifying premonition. The data pointed towards a future of unprecedented climate chaos, a future of extreme weather events, rising sea levels and mass displacement, a future that would render vast swathes of the planet uninhabitable. It was a stark, horrifying picture, and one that contrasted sharply with the carefully curated narrative presented by governments and corporations around the world. Amelia knew this data was explosive, incendiary. It challenged the carefully constructed facade of stability and control, revealing a far more chaotic and dangerous reality. She had to get this information out, to expose the truth, no matter the cost. But as she delved deeper, she realized she wasn't just battling scientific dogma. She was up against a powerful and shadowy conspiracy determined to silence her. Amelia's research led her to a tangled web of connections, a network of powerful individuals and corporations with a vested interest in maintaining the status quo, in perpetuating the lie. They had poured billions into disinformation campaigns, into discrediting scientists who dared to speak out, into lobbying governments to downplay the severity of the crisis. Their motive was simple: profit. Their bottom line depended on the continued exploitation of fossil fuels, on the relentless pursuit of economic growth, no matter the environmental cost. The deeper Amelia dug, the more she realized the extent of their influence, their reach extending into the highest echelons of power. She found evidence of data manipulation, of suppressed reports, of scientists silenced, their careers destroyed for daring to challenge the official narrative. It was a chilling realization. The very institutions entrusted with protecting the planet were complicit in its destruction. Amelia knew she was treading dangerous ground. She had stumbled upon a conspiracy that went far deeper than she could have imagined, a conspiracy that threatened not just her career but her life. But she couldn't turn back. She had a responsibility, a moral obligation to expose the truth, to alert the world to the imminent danger it faced. The forces arrayed against Amelia were formidable. They wielded vast wealth, political influence, and a sophisticated propaganda machine capable of shaping public opinion. They sought to discredit her, to paint her as a radical, a fringe scientist peddling unfounded theories. They launched smear campaigns, leaked false information, and used their influence to pressure academic journals to reject her research. Amelia found herself increasingly isolated, cut off from her colleagues, her reputation under attack. She received threats, her phone tapped, her movements monitored. Fear gnawed at her, whispering doubts, urging her to abandon her quest, to retreat to the safety of silence.
But she refused to be cowed. She knew the truth was too important to bury, too urgent to ignore. She found allies in unexpected places, journalists with a thirst for truth, activists fighting for a better future, ordinary citizens awakening to the reality of the crisis. Together they formed a fragile but determined resistance, a David facing a Goliath of corporate and political power.
Amelia knew time was running out. The window of opportunity to avert the worst impacts of climate change was rapidly closing. She had to get the information out, to reach the public, to spark a global awakening before it was too late. She worked tirelessly, writing articles, giving interviews, speaking at conferences, her every move shadowed by unseen forces. She faced setbacks, moments of despair, times when the sheer magnitude of the challenge threatened to overwhelm her. But she drew strength from the growing chorus of voices demanding change, from the millions around the world mobilizing to protect the planet. The movement was gaining momentum, fueled by a growing awareness of the crisis, a dawning realization that the future of humanity hung in the balance. The stakes were higher than ever, the danger ever present. But Amelia refused to be silenced. She knew that the truth, once revealed, had the power to change the world. Her journey was far from over, but she pressed on, driven by the belief that a better future was possible, a future where humanity lived in harmony with the planet, a future where the climate crisis was met not with denial, but with collective action. Amelia's story is a stark reminder of the power of truth, of the courage it takes to stand up for what is right, even in the face of overwhelming opposition. It's a call to action for each of us to become informed, to engage in the fight for a sustainable future, to hold our leaders accountable, to demand transparency and action. The climate crisis is not someone else's problem. It's a collective challenge that demands a collective response. We can no longer afford to be passive observers. to remain silent in the face of injustice. We must all become agents of change, using our voices, our actions, our choices to shift the course of history. The future is not predetermined. It's shaped by the decisions we make today. We have the power to create a world where environmental sustainability, social justice, and economic equity are not just aspirations, but lived realities. The journey will be long, the struggle arduous, but the stakes are too high to fail. Let us embrace the challenge together with courage, conviction, and unwavering hope. If you like the story, don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more narratives like this.